In our last video, we talked about how you might infringe someone else's copyright, even accidentally. And we know from the third video of this series that if you infringe someone else's copyright, they might be able to sue you in court. But surely there's some way around this, and actually there are a lot of ways around this. The exceptions to copyright infringement, such as fair use. These are super complicated and we won't be dealing with them in this last video of the series. But we'll talk about some of the most standard ways, in fact, the most standard way to get out of copyright infringement: getting a license. So, what is a license? For the last time in this series, let's talk about your phone, which you're probably watching this video on. Now, you know that you own your phone, and because you do, you have a right to prevent others from taking it away from you. Let's say your friend asks if you could lend your phone to them for a week, and they'll even pay you for the phone bills they incur. Do you still have a right to prevent them from taking your phone from you? Of course you do. But you could also choose not to exercise your right, and instead to grant your friend permission to use your phone. If you're feeling stingy, you might even ask them to pay a bit. When you do that, what you're really doing is agreeing with your friend that you will not enforce your rights against them. That, in essence, is a license. It's just granting someone permission to do something. So, how does this work in the copyright context? Well, you've probably already figured it out. We recall from the second video of this series that copyright subsists in your creative things. And from our last video, we know that copyright is a right to prevent others from copying your creative things. So, what's a copyright license? Well, it is when you give someone permission to copy your creative things. Simple. But of course, that's not the end of it. Because in most cases, if you're going to grant others permission to copy your creative things, you want something in return. For one, you'll probably want to be paid. In the copyright licensing context, that's called a royalty. But more broadly, you can customize the relationship you have with the other party you're granting a license to in any way you like. You could put limits on how they use your stuff, or you could only grant them permission for a limited time, or you could even take a different form of payment. Anything, as long as the other party agrees to it. Because at the end of the day, a license is an agreement. So you can add on any terms and conditions you wish to add, as long as they are agreed upon. And once you have a copyright license, as long as you follow the terms and conditions, you cannot be sued for copyright infringement. Of course, it's not always easy to get a license, but getting a license is the most straightforward way of avoiding infringement. And for this series, really, that's all that needs to be said. Hope it was useful, and thank you for watching.